Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. It's Nicole here. If you're new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications every time I post. If you already subscribed to my channel, thanks for tuning in today. In today's video, I am going to share with you a big announcement that I am pregnant. I'm expecting my first child. And I wanted to go into details about why I've been concealing my pregnancy for several weeks. And I wanted to share with you ladies out there my pregnancy story and my fertility story and what I did to get pregnant and what I did to maintain my pregnancy. If you're interested in getting details about my pregnancy and my fertility journey, then make sure you stick around for this video. Currently, I'm about 17 and a half weeks pregnant. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I did announce my pregnancy about a week ago. At 16 weeks, I felt comfortable announcing after several doctor's appointments and a couple of ultrasounds. I felt that the pregnancy was progressing normally, so that it was okay for me to share the news. And plus, my belly started growing a lot, so it was becoming obvious that I was pregnant. Now, I did suffer 2 previous miscarriages. I've been trying to conceive for about a year and a half to 2 years. And I did fall pregnant last year around this time. However, the pregnancy ended in miscarriage. So I did suffer a miscarriage in January at about 6 weeks. And I did have to have a DNC for that miscarriage. Now, a lot of people, when you are expecting early on and people are used to you having a drink, and when you go out or they invite you somewhere you don't have a drink, it's a red flag. They just assume that you're pregnant, and some people may dig, and you may not be comfortable to share that news, especially if you have a history of miscarriage or fertility issues. So for me, I chose to kind of stay quiet, stay home. I didn't go to a lot of events and things that I was invited to because I really wanted to keep the pregnancy concealed until I felt that things were progressing normally in this pregnancy. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about how I got pregnant. So I did have to see a reproductive endocrinologist in order to get pregnant. Considering I had 2 miscarriages and they were early on, I was referred to a reproductive endocrinologist. A reproductive endocrinologist is pretty much the same as a fertility doctor. My reproductive endocrinologist did several tests on me. All came back negative as far as disorders and things of that nature. So my reproductive endocrinologist suggested that maybe I had a hormonal imbalance issue because I wasn't having a regular period and I was not ovulating regularly on my own. Now, I strongly believe that this was attributed to birth control pills. Everyone's body reacts different. Some people can go off birth control and their menstrual cycle may come back to normal right away. That was not the case for me. I have been on birth control since I was about 18 years old. I didn't get off birth control until I was about 29. So I was on birth control consistently for about 11 years. When I finally decided that I wanted to try and conceive, my husband and I, we stopped taking birth control and my period never returned normally. So this was causing it to be very difficult to conceive because I was not ovulating regularly. So Clomid is a fertility drug that you take during your cycle at specific days, and it's supposed to boost and promote ovulation. So I took this drug for my previous pregnancy. It worked. I felt pregnant, but again, I had a miscarriage, or early miscarriage. Third time I went back on Clomid. I took it for 4 rounds. On the 4th round, my 4th cycle of trying, I did fall pregnant. But this time, I did something a little bit different. So considering I had these hormonal imbalances, my doctor recommended that I take progesterone suppositories at the beginning stages of my pregnancy to help support the pregnancy until the placenta was developed and able to produce the progesterone. Progesterone is very important in early pregnancy And if you're not producing enough, your pregnancy can end in miscarriage, and you can start bleeding and eventually miscarry your baby. So I did take progesterone, and I also took baby aspirin to kind of thin my blood out and make sure that I didn't have any issues with blood clotting. So those were the two things that I did different this time, and it seems like it worked because this is the furthest I've ever made it in a pregnancy. So, just to give you a little bit of background story, if you're out there and you're having fertility issues, don't give up. Make sure you be persistent. Don't let people tell you, oh, it'll happen. Just be patient. If you're trying consecutively for several months and you don't get pregnant, you definitely want to reach out to your doctor, reach out to a reproductive endocrinologist, and get the testing. Because oftentimes people will tell you, oh, nothing's wrong with you, don't worry about it. If you know your body and you're adamant about starting a family and you want to get pregnant, make sure you seek help, because there are things out there that can be done to help your chances of conceiving. So, all in all, I did take Clomid. It did work for me. I was able to ovulate and I was able to get pregnant. So the first time I took Clomid, I took 50 milligrams. That cycle, I did not ovulate. The next cycle, I took 100 milligrams of Clomid. I did not ovulate. My third cycle of trying, I took 150 milligrams of Clomid, which is usually the highest dose that most reproductive endocrinologists suggest. I did ovulate with 150 milligrams, but I did not fall pregnant. I took 150 milligrams of Clomid again for the fourth cycle. I went to the doctor shortly after when the time that I was supposed to ovulate. They told me once they got blood work back, they said, you didn't ovulate this month. So I was really upset because I felt like I should have ovulated this month if I ovulated last month with the same dose. So the doctor told me, you didn't ovulate. We're going to give you Provera. Provera is a drug that makes your period come down. So they wanted me to take Provera for a few days. And then once my period started, I would start a new cycle and take another dose of 150 milligrams of Clomid. However, my period never came. And in the past, when I've taken Provera, my period will always come shortly after the regimen. So I waited several days. I called the doctor and said, hey, my period still haven't come. They said if it doesn't come in a couple of days, give us a call back. Something told me to just take a pregnancy test. Now, going through fertility issues and trying to conceive, you end up taking a lot of pregnancy tests because you're trying to see, like, did it work? Did I get pregnant this month? So I just assumed that it would be negative, but it actually was positive. So what that meant was I did ovulate that fourth round of Clomid. However, I ovulated a lot later than anticipated. So right away, my doctor started to monitor my HCG levels for the first 3 weeks. I went in to make sure my HCG hormone was rising accordingly. I was able to undergo 2 early ultrasounds to make sure the baby was developing. And I took my progesterone. I took my baby aspirin. I took my progesterone. I took my baby aspirin. And I pretty much just stayed stress-free and relaxed. Stayed in the house and went to work for the most part. Now I'm able to get to this point in my pregnancy where I'm about 17 and a half weeks. And I really want to share my story with a lot of ladies out there that's going through fertility issues, because sometimes it can be pretty lonely. And you have a lot of people asking you, when are you going to have a baby? Do you want kids? Why haven't you and your husband had kids yet? And a lot of times you feel like you're kind of pressured to hurry up and get pregnant. So if you're out there, just want to let you know, patience is a virtue. If you do have fertility issues, you're going to have to be patient, but you also have to be persistent. Sometimes fertility issues cannot be just handled on your own. Sometimes you need help from a reproductive endocrinologist or an OB/GYN. If you have any questions about my Clomid story, my fertility journey, make sure you leave a comment below. I'll definitely make sure I get back to you. If you want to see some weekly pregnancy updates from me, then make sure you stick around. I am going to show you guys a belly shot at the end of this video so you guys can see how far along so you guys can see how big my stomach has gotten at 17 and a half weeks. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I will be doing more pregnancy videos and updates, so make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss those. You can follow me on Instagram at Nicole the Scientist. Thank you so much for watching, and please, if you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave them below because I will definitely get back to you. Thanks for watching. Bye.